Today, I've come to share a very important message with you. Suicide. Suicide is bad. It's time for the first celebrity apology circus of 2018, and as you probably already know, the clown this time is Logan Paul. He's already apologized twice, but I guess the third time's the charm, and this time, his apology is wrapped in an educational message about suicide awareness. What would we ever do if it weren't for the people who are out there raising awareness? I know personally, I'd never heard of suicide before. I had no idea that people killed themselves, and I certainly had no idea that that was a bad thing. So, thank you for raising awareness. I'm now aware. And alright, it may seem like the purpose of this video is to shit on Logan Paul's apology and his attempt at educating people on suicide. That's really not what this is about. What I want to shit on is this social ritual that we always have to go through with these big celebrity apologies. Several times a year, a celebrity fucks something up and everyone's outraged, and we all have to get together and make sure that they give us a satisfactory apology. We gotta make sure they're really, really sorry and they really mean it, and it seems like we don't really ever take a step back and think about just how fucking weird that is. Like, if you think about that, that's completely fucking insane that we demand that from people. And it's the kind of thing where, even if you're cognizant of how bizarre that is, you still understand that it needs to be done for the celebrity and for us to all move on with our lives and let, the 24-hour news cycle move on with whatever else it's gonna fucking tell us to be mad about. There really was no other way for Logan Paul to move on without addressing this. He couldn't just be like, hey, what's up guys, it's Logan Paul, I'm gonna go yell around and then throw some more Game Boys on the floor and, do what I usually do without ever addressing the elephant in the room. That was not possible. If he tried it, it would be awkward as shit. Even me, knowing how much I hate these fucking things and how much I don't actually watch his content, if I knew that he just kinda came back like nothing ever happened, I would be like, what are you doing, guy? What are you doing, guy? We can't allow him back into society until he's made amends with the fucking world that's outraged at him, even though I think the vast majority of us have already made up our minds on how we're going to react no matter what he says. You have some people that nothing will ever be good enough, and you have other people where he didn't really even need to do anything, he just had to just move on. There probably are some people, although I think realistically they're in the minority, of people who are going to sit there and analyze every little bit of his apology and make sure it's just right and he really means it and he's sorry enough for their standards that they would be satisfied. These fucking vindictive weirdos lording over their forgiveness like some kind of fucking forgiveness baron. On one hand, it's not fair to have made up your mind beforehand how you're going to react to whatever it does. And I'm sure a lot of people won't admit that that's what they did, even though that's what they did. And that's kind of human, and I understand that, but if you truly, honestly need to, determine whether or not he really, really means it, that's kind of insane to me. Not to play armchair psychologist, but if you're taking it that seriously, I think on some level you just really want to feel like you have some power over this guy. These social dances and rituals we all have to partake in, and this is just one of them, there's many of them, but this is the one I'm talking about at this time. They're always so weird and kind of amusing to me. I almost feel like I'm an alien kind of standing on the sidelines, observing human society and studying it or wherever the fuck. And that being said, it's time for me to make my own fucking over-analysis of Logan Paul's return apology suicide educational video. So it starts off with some suicide facts that I think are slightly off-center, but I can't really tell, and I don't really want to whip out a ruler and know exactly because it doesn't really matter that much. Oh yeah, they definitely are off-center. I don't know if that's an error or if it's an artistic choice. I don't really think that this is necessarily the time to decide to become an artiste, but he's the one with millions of subscribers, and I'm not. Pretty much once he gives out the facts, the overall focus of this video is him sitting down, talking with suicide survivors and experts in the field of suicide and suicide prevention. It's a pretty reasonable thing for him to have done considering the circumstances.
And I know I've made mistakes. I know I've let people down. But what happens?
Look at those hands though, like when you see the close-up shot of the hands together, and especially in black and white with the poignant music playing, when you see that shot, that's how you know you're gonna see some shit that comes from the heart. Look at Concerny McConcern face over here. That's such a good, intense, concerned, I care a lot face. The concern face is absolutely crucial to a winning celebrity apology. Even in the car, walking up the street, he's got the superb fucking concerned I care a lot face. And don't get me wrong, I'm not pointing this facial expression out to kind of say he's like faking it or he doesn't care anything. I just want to highlight a little bit of the silliness of this social ritual that he's going through and that we all kind of go through to some extent at some point or another. Looking at him doing that, it makes me think of all the times where someone was talking to me and they started like laying down some like really dark, heavy, serious shit. Because I'm the kind of guy where you can kind of talk to me like that, and first off, I have like the straightest of straight faces most of the time, no matter what you're saying to me. You know, after all that time of you telling me this thing that's like really serious, really bad, maybe like, you know, it's like the worst thing that ever happened to you in your life, at the end, there's a good chance that I'll just be like, oh, that sucks. I mean, I don't know if that's good enough. I don't know if people expect more, but I'm just not good with dealing with those kinds of situations, and I feel like most people aren't good with dealing with those kinds of situations. And I think a lot of the times then, when you're in that kind of conversation, you wind up thinking to yourself, like, do I look sad enough? Do I look concerned enough? Is the facial expression that I'm doing for this person the right thing that they need to be looking at that while they're really like telling me some real shit? And that's just in a normal human interaction, just one-on-one, person to person. Imagine that situation now where you have a camera on you and you have basically the entire world going to analyze how you're treating this to see if you really care, if you're sorry enough. Imagine then having to come up with the right facial expression. These people are waiting for the greatest fucking apology in history, and that's when you get the supreme concern face.
And the millisecond that my hands cleared the rail and my legs flew over it was an instant regret. The depression was wiped from my mind, and all I wanted to do was live, and I thought it's too late.
You know, that's actually something I've heard a lot, and probably one of the better arguments against suicide, that a lot of people, like, once they jump, the second they can't do anything about it anymore, they're like, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that.
Something else that Dr. Draper told me were the 5 steps that anyone can take to help prevent suicide. Step 1 is simply just ask. Ask yourself, ask others, are you thinking about suicide? And I know that sounds like a daunting question, but literally that question can save lives.
Now, that's actually pretty interesting to me that he went on to tell the suicide prevention facts from an actual doctor, because honestly, I came in here to this video kinda like wanting to poke fun at it, like the idea that he's gonna like educate us on this thing that's self-evidently bad. Like, you don't need somebody to tell you that suicide is a bad thing and you shouldn't do it. Anybody who's consumed any kind of media has probably heard that message at one point or another, or from other people, just because it's a sensible, common sense thing. But these steps themselves may not be as common sense. Like, these are the steps provided by a professional who knows how to kind of de-escalate these situations. I definitely didn't know this, and I think a lot of people watching didn't know this, and because of that, I think there's actually a good chance that maybe a kid watching this video might one day notice that something's not quite right, and, you know, actually use the information they learned in that section of this video to possibly save someone's fucking life. So I guess, good job, Logan Paul. Then he goes on to talk about how he wants to be more involved in suicide prevention, and he donated $1 million to suicide prevention charities, which, you know, some people will be like, oh wow, it's a really great gesture. Other people will be like, oh, that's not enough. You make so much money, you should do more. And realistically, for those people, nothing he does will ever be enough. And because of that, I wouldn't worry too much about satisfying those people. And I'm not gonna lie, even though I kind of took this time to poke fun at just the ridiculousness of the social ritual of celebrity apologies, I actually think he did do a good job with this. Did he really mean it? Is she sorry enough? Honestly, I don't think it really fucking matters. At the end of the day, these celebrity apologies are mostly about placating the lynch mob. And I've said this before, but I really wish there would come a day when a celebrity found themselves in a big scandal like this, and when the world came at them demanding an apology, they just kind of looked at the camera and went, but you know, it's not my life, it's not my money at risk that I should be telling people what they should fucking do. And if you want me to elaborate more on that, check out my other video on celebrity apologies. Anyway, everybody get fucked.